Okay, welcome back. So happy to be with you. This is question 5 from the November 2017 grade 10 paper 1. And in this video I'm going to do 5.1 to 5.3. You can work through the whole problem now if you'd like, and then come back when you're ready to check your answers. Okay, let's start with 5.1. Write down the range of G. Well, if you've read the problem carefully, as you always should, G is the parabola here, and the range we can get just by looking at that graph. And remember that the range is the possible y values, or the output of the function. X values are the input and y values are the output. So our y values are anything 8 or below. We could write that two ways. Y is less than or equal to 8. Or we can write it, we call this interval notation. Maybe you call it something else, set notation, but this is the other way you can write it. So either way, y is less than or equal to 8. 5.2, write down the x coordinate of r. Well, first I would locate r on my graph. That is an x-intercept, which means, of course, the y-coordinate will be 0. And I notice in this parabola that is symmetric over the y-axis. And our s value gives us an x-intercept on one side, and so the r will be exactly the same distance in the other direction. So our x-intercept on the other side, the r value is -2, 0. So the x-coordinate of the r point is -2. Okay, and now we're going to calculate a and q. And I notice they give us the equation for G, the parabola, ax squared plus q. You may know right away that q is equal to 8 because that is the y-intercept, and this parabola is symmetric over the y-axis. But if you didn't know that, you could use the point 0, 8 and plug that in for x and y. And remember, y is the same as g of x in this problem, so we can plug that in and solve it for q, because that first term, a0 squared, just equals 0, so we get q is equal to 8. Now we have another point that's given to us on the parabola, 2, 0, and we can use that with our value for q to find a. I subtract the 8 from both sides, and we know 2 squared is 4, so we get a is equal to -2. So they didn't ask us to write the equation, but we could write the equation as -2x squared plus 8, and it shouldn't surprise us that our a value was negative because this parabola opens down.